Hello students, today we will be studying about the organism Listeria. Now Listeria, how this organism causes any food infection and how it causes disease in human beings. Basically, when the term Listeria comes to our mind, it generally causes listeriosis. It causes something called as listeriosis. Okay, now let us study about this organism. Let us see the history of this organism. This was first explained by E.G. de Murray in the year 1924. Now, how did he explain about this? He did not know about the organism. There was a sudden death of rabbits in this particular year, and it was Murray who actually showed it is because of this organism the disease is spread. It was not named as Listeria by then. It was Harvey Pyrie who had named the organism as Listeria in the year 1940. Let's study the morphology and the other characteristics of this organism. It is a gram-positive rod-shaped bacteria. Okay, it's a gram-positive rod-shaped bacteria, but this organism cannot survive. Most of the species cannot survive freely. It requires a host. Okay, it survives inside the cytoplasm of the other living organisms. So what happens is when the organism tries to enter into the cytoplasm through the wall of the bacteria, it appears as a rocket shape. You can see here it appears as a rocket shape when it tries to pushes itself through the wall of the other cells and tries to enter into the cytoplasm. So that is why it looks like the rocket. So that's why it is named as rocket push bacteria. Coming to the other characteristics of the organism, it is motile, okay, because it has multiflagella, and very important characteristic of this organism is it is a psychrophilic organism. Now, what do you mean by psychrophilic or psychotrophic? Is it is a cold loving, that is it survives at lower temperatures. Whatever we had seen, whichever organisms we had seen till now, they were all mesophilic, that is the temperature range was between say 20 to 40 or 45 degrees centigrade. But here if you see, the organism survives within the range of 0 to 45 degree centigrade. So which means you have to remember our refrigerator that we use to preserve the food, the temperature is 8 degree, isn't it? But then this organism can even survive below 8 degree centigrade. And if you see this organism, it can tolerate high salt concentrations also, that is 10 to 12% of salt concentration of NaCl also it can tolerate. It's not that it wants the salt concentration, but it can survive even at the salt concentration. It has a broad range of pH. If you see, it starts with 4.4, which is slightly acidic, and it can go up to high alkaline conditions, that is 9.6. So the range of pH that it can survive will cover all the three: basophilic, alkalophilic, acidophilic, neutrophilic, and basophilic. So all the three range it would cover. Now this organism, or the spread of the organism, that is listeriosis, was first reported in humans, or the first outbreak that was seen was in Canada in the year 1981. The other outbreak that we saw was of the rabbits. Okay, that was in 1924. That was in animals, but here we are talking about human beings. It was reported in 1981 in Canada. Apart from this, uh, more prone people who for this organism are pregnant women. Okay, so also it was seen 34 pregnant women were infected by this organism and 7 adults. Now, how were they infected? When they did the analysis, they saw that the food that was consumed by these women, basically the packaged food, Okay, so this packaged food contained the organism. So when they went and checked in the packaging plant, there was no contamination of listeria. But where the food was grown, okay, there the organism was spread. There they had found that there was listeria, that is the soil in which the food was grown contained the organism listeria. Okay, so the food itself had the organism where from the place where it was grown. So this is how there was a outbreak. Now if you see the reported outbreak in US, the first reported outbreak in US, and this was the most lethal outbreak. The previous one which we saw was not that lethal, but then this was most lethal outbreak, and that was in US. It was in the year 1985. Okay, and this was spread through cheese. Now what happened here, around 142 people were affected and almost 48 deaths were observed. Now the second lethal outbreak, the most dangerous outbreak that happened was between, not very old, between the year 1998 to 1991, wherein there were almost 100 cases of listeriosis, and almost 20% of the people were killed because of the organism. And it was seen in Michigan, again in US. It was seen in the processing plant, basically in the meat products it was seen, the sausages, that is what is shown here. Now what is this listeriosis? We've been seeing that the people have been died because of this. What is this listeriosis? It is a serious infection. It can kill the it can kill the human beings. Okay, it can be chronic, and it is generally caused by eating contaminated food which has the organism Listeria monocytogenes. Okay, so this is organism, generally this is organism. And who are the people? It's, as I told you, it's pregnant women, newborn, and if it is adults, it's the people who are having weak immune system. Now, this can be of two types, that is non-invasive and invasive type. Now, if it is non-invasive type, then it can lead to gastroenteritis, and if it is invasive type, it will generally, go and attack or infect most of the organs. So, if it is non-invasive type, it generally spreads through contaminated food. Okay, and the incubation period is 9 to 48 hours. Okay, and what are the symptoms of this? As I told you, gastroenteritis it causes. So generally you will have diarrhea, dysentery, vomiting, and the other symptoms would be something like influenza, so that is fever and chills. If it is invasive type, I told you it can go and affect the organs. The incubation period is within 5 days to 3 weeks. Okay, it can result in septicemia. What is this? Septicemia is the multiplication of bacteria in the blood. It can cause meningitis, that is infection of the brain, endocarditis, that is infection of the veins, I mean infection of the heart, the valves of the heart, inner lining of the heart. It can also lead to abortions. Now, as I told you, the more prone people are pregnant women, so it can lead to abortions. It can also cause abscess in the brain. So that is what is shown here. There is an abscess in the brain. What are the different types of species of listeria? The most common species that causes food diseases is Listeria monocytogenes, as we had seen in the previous slides. Apart from that, other types are Listeria innocua, Listeria seligeri, Listeria innovi, Listeria welchmeri, and Listeria grey. These are the different other species which can also spread the disease, but the most common one is Listeria monocytogenes. Now, what are the symptoms? As I told you, the fever, it causes generally the influenza like symptoms. It is fever, muscle ache, gastrointestinal diseases. So that can be nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, etc. If it is in pregnant women, then it could be mild flu-like symptoms. It can be miscarriage. It can lead to miscarriage, stillbirth. The it they It can also lead to premature delivery, or also worst cases the child also could be infected by the listeria. If the mother is infected, the child also, there are chances that child also can get infected by listeria. And definitely there will be lethargy and irritability. Now if the infection spreads, that is if it is the other type, invasive type, it can spread through the organs. It spreads through the nervous system. If it spreads to the nervous system, there is headache, there is stiff neck becomes stiff. This is seen in children. Okay, there is confusion, there is loss of balance of the head. Okay, and also there is double vision. This double vision is not very common here, and there is convolutions seen. And apart from this, it can also cause pneumonia, meningitis, and sepsis. Now this is not only for human beings, it can also affect the animals. Okay. Now how does this listeria spread, this organism, how does it spread? It spreads, that is, see, basically it is present in soil. Okay, it can be present in soil. So if the vegetables are grown in a field where the soil is contaminated by listeria, it can cause through that. This organism can be present on animals, it can be present in the intestine of animals. I told you animals also get infected by this organism, and hence the fecal matter also can contain the organism listeria. And hence if the vegetables are grown and if the dung of the animal is used as a fertilizer, that also can contaminate the vegetables grown there. Okay, so that is the main thing. As animals can contain the bacterium, the animal products, that is meat products, milk also can be contaminated by the organism. The dairy products, anything, all these could be contaminated. So that's what I told, bacterium can be present in uncooked meat. Generally, milk, yes, definitely unpasteurized milk, and milk products, mostly it is the cheese which has this organism, if it is seen. If it can also be transferred from the mother to child during the birth, I told you it can pass through the placenta, so it can cross the placenta, and easily it can infect the newborn also. In such case, the child could get infected within 7 to 28 days after the birth. The child starts showing the symptoms after the birth. Now in totality, the average incubation period of all these organisms, I mean of all the different types of this disease, it could be 11 to 47 days. uh, Now those generally, when how do we know that the food is spoiled or infected? That is when there is when the food appears spoiled, when there is foul odor. So this is how, when there is physical changes in the food. But sometimes what happens, there is non it the food, we will not know whether the food has been contaminated. It is non evident. The food appears normal, there is no change, physical change, appearance, there is no change in the food at all. So there were certain outbreaks wherein in pasteurized milk there was outbreak, there were listeria monocytogenes present in the pasteurized milk, and the milk did not appear spoiled. That happened in the year 1983. Also, there was a sudden outbreak of this listeriosis through the presence of the organism in butter. Okay, so that happened in California in the year 1987. And also This organism was found in vegetables and also in the other meat products in the year 1979, again in the year 2002. As I told you, not only human beings, this can also affect animals. So apart from the first outbreak that happened in 1924, listeriasis also there was an outbreak in the year 1980. Okay, it caused encephalitis and abortions in animals, generally the cattle and sheep. It was found that in California there was a sudden outbreak, there was encephalitis seen in most of the cattle in the year 1980. Now, who are the people who are most susceptible? I have already told you that it is the pregnant women, the elderly people who obviously more than 60 years of age, who are immunocompromised, that is if their immune system is weak, and also newborns, obviously even their immune system is weak. Now the pregnant women, almost around 20% of the pregnant women were more prone to listeriosis in and around a particular year in US. Now, how do you get listeriosis? There are different. One is by eating contaminated food. I told you how the food can get contaminated. It can pass from the mother to the child. Okay, and also, but the listeriosis cannot spread from one person to another person through food, that is vegetables if the vegetables are grown, or meat products, or animal secretions, etc., from the mother to the child. But from one human being to another human being, it can never be spread. Now, what are the foods that is associated? I told you meat and meat products, generally that those are the things. Milk products, if it is milk products, it is basically the cheese, the different types of cheese. uh, Raw milk, that's pasteurized milk would kill the microorganism, because you very well know in the previous slide we had seen that 45 degrees the maximum that it can survive. Okay, so uh, around 4% are the chances of the organism being present in raw milk, but in pasteurized milk the percentage is very less than 0.4%. Ready to eat food, this is a place where the organism could be present. Okay, deli meats as the highest risk. Now, what do you mean by deli meats? Deli meats are cooked or steamed meat or meat products which is then stored, which is stored and chilled, and also which is served as chilled meat. Okay, it could be served as salads or along with sandwiches. It's not it's not heated again. It is heated, cooked, stored, chilled, and also served chilled meat. So deli meats are the one who can spread the disease, who can have the organism. Now, diagnosis, which how do you diagnose it? Generally there is no routine, there is no specific diagnostic procedure for this particular, but how do you analyze, or how do you say whether the person could be suffering from this? Through the symptoms, that is if the person is having stiff neck, it's better to consult a doctor. uh, Generally the blood sample is taken and gram staining is done to check for the presence of listeria. This organism is generally grown on different types of media. Which media it is grown? It is grown on brain heart infusion media, which is a non-selective media. It can be also grown on blood agar, and here hemolysis is seen. During pregnancy, it's very important for throughout the pregnancy to check or to see for the symptoms of listeriosis. Now, how do you prevent it? Definitely cook the food well. are above 45 degree, you know the temperature range for this organism is around 0 to 45. So above 45 degree the organism hardly can survive. So cook the food well. Avoid eating raw food like the salads. Avoid eating raw foods. Wash the raw foods and vegetables thoroughly, because I told you it can spread through soil and the manure that is used. Separate out the uncooked food and the ready to eat food. Wash hands, the knives, and the other equipment that is used in the kitchen for preparing the food. If the food is perishable or ready to eat food, try to consume the food as fast as possible. Do not store it for a long time, because in the refrigerator organism happily survives. Okay, avoid eating soft cheese, different types of cheese, any cheese you name the cheese, the organism could be present there. And avoid drinking unpasteurized milk. Okay, and avoid eating refrigerated meat and meat products, because it can be present in the meat products. Deli meat, avoid taking in there. Easily the organism can be killed during boiling and cooking and pasteurization. What is the treatment? Now this is a serious disease which definitely requires hospitalization. It's not a acute disease wherein just within few weeks or within few days the person can be cured like your other diseases. It definitely requires hospitalization, and penicillin could be given, but if the people are allergic to penicillin, oxytetracycline is given to them. It is given intravenously for 2 weeks. But remember, this can be treated or this can be given if it is if the symptoms or if the disease is at the initial stages. Now, if the infection happens during pregnancy, it is very, very important to be seen at the initial stages, not at the latter stages, because taking in medicine could definitely affect the fetus. Okay, so there could be deaths also. You have seen in the previous slides there are deaths also seen because of this disease. So initial treating this disease in the initial stages is very, very important. Thank you, students.